All right, here we go. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Hardwork Bad Decisions, the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about it. So today we got Dylan King.
Let's go.
Right? So we never done this, but I think it's pretty cool to do like a post-fight interview. And since this fight was such a big fight with a lot of controversy, I figure it was a good opportunity for us to just rehash some of the details and give you an opportunity to talk about, how you're feeling. So currently, how are you feeling right now?
I feel good. Still trying to process everything, and it's been a crazy few weeks, and there's been a lot going on. Big process, a lot of sitting and waiting around. But no, man, I feel good.
Okay, so what day was March 27th?
March, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about on March 27th, you was contracted to fight Geno at 135. This was going to be your second professional fight. You did lose your first fight. So this fight was actually very important for you.
Very important.
You know what I'm saying? To go 0-2, that's not something you want to start out your career. Just being honest.
Yeah. No,
so we didn't talk a lot about that, but it wasn't everybody like.
It's a real thought. I thought about it all the time.
Right. So you're like, we gotta. I never said that to you.
No.
But I was like, damn, we gotta win this motherfucking fight.
I was there. Yeah.
But in any case, so we train our butt off. Probably about 8 weeks, if not longer. I mean, we've been training every day, but I think since we found out about it, it was a good 8 weeks or something like that. I can't remember. But fight night, awesome night.
Yeah.
We started off first fight. My son knocks out the kid in 15 seconds. Perfect start.
Whew.
Yeah, perfect start. Aaron went out there for the war. He lost a split decision.
Super close.
Super close.
Great performance. I mean, the dude is a inspiration.
Right. And Aaron Cordova. Then Daniel went out and fought another good war and won a damn good fight.
Yeah.
Against a guy who was like 6-1.
Yeah, definitely no joke. And I mean, that fight was exciting. It was a banger. It was tough. It was gritty. I love that fight. It was great to watch.
Yeah, it was a great fight. Then it was you.
Yeah.
So, how did you feel going into the fight?
Honestly, I felt great going into the fight. I felt zoned in. When we were in the back, hitting pads, getting ready, I felt on point. When we were walking out, I was happy. Everybody's giving me hugs before we went in. I was smiling. I felt good. The music, my walkout song was good. Everything.
It was a good walkout song. I was vibing to that walkout song.
Everything was good. I felt great, and even being in the cage, stepping in there, it felt like home.
Yeah. Great. Because your last fight was what? Maybe July
7th.
July 7th, right? And you went. You was supposed to fight later, like in December or something like that. And
November. Yeah.
November, and you got injured. So
2020 was definitely it was an interesting year. We had that my pro debut loss. Broke my ankle for my next fight.
Yeah.
And then, we had a tough camp coming up to this one. And so, a lot was riding on that fight.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So you felt great coming into the fight. Energy was awesome. The team was excited. We had some great wins. And now it's time to go fight Geno. Okay. So let's just talk about the beginning of the fight before we get to the part that probably everybody wants to hear about. And I know I'm prolonging it, because it's so drama filled. I want to talk about other aspects.
Yeah.
But starting out, we had a particular idea of what Geno wanted to do, which was to wrestle. I was about to curse. He wanted. I'm a wrestler, so I understand that. So he wanted to wrestle you down and try to maybe break your will in that aspect.
Yeah.
Starting out, you came out ready to go, and just like I felt like it was going to happen, you threw a 2 and he shot underneath that.
I stuffed the first one.
Right.
Yeah. So he came out, he threw a couple leg kicks, and he whiffed on them, and then he threw a little overhand that touched my gloves, and then when I went to strike, he shot.
Yeah.
And he hit my hips, and I stuffed that one, and I was able to turn him into mount. But we knew that was going to happen.
Right.
You had told me, he's going to try to strike, act like he's going to strike, and then he's going to shoot. So be ready. So, we knew that leading up to it. And I felt good, like that first shot defense, it felt good. I felt hard, like, I felt like he ran into a wall.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was exactly what we expected for sure.
So like the thing about Geno is that we know Geno. Okay, he fought one of our guys. He actually beat one of our guys before, right? So so we had a pretty good understanding, and we obviously watched them before. Being that I got so many 135ers, I don't know what's going on with these y'all small people, these small guys. Like my gym is full of 135ers.
Taking over.
Yeah. So we always knew like Geno was going to be somebody we may fight again down the road. So so he shot in. You stuffed it. You turned him over, and the cool thing, you stuffed him for like a good wizard. You turned him over, and you fell into mount. To Geno credit, he was able to power through and actually get back up and turn you over.
Yeah.
And now you was in guard.
Yeah.
What was you thinking at that point?
I was actually kind of, I knew it. I felt like all this was going to happen. So it kind of felt good. It's funny because I had been watching I watched the Pena versus Shevchenko fight a few weeks before. And I was just thinking about, like, if I get to my guard, be calm, be collected, work on your submissions, work on your get-ups. And she caught Pena in that armbar.
Right, but that's true. Right.
That's the armbar.
Yeah.
And it's just funny how it worked out when he rolled me. The guy who did the photos, Dan, he caught me. I'm smirking a little bit.
Yeah.
I got a little smile on my face because I knew what was happening. I felt hyper aware in there. I felt super aware of everything.
And you was listening because I was streaming certain aspects, like when you're in guard and someone is like laying on you, not someone is posturing up, right? So when someone's laying on you, it's kind of hard to get away from that person, and this person just laying on you. So like, and even you trying to strike, it doesn't do anything. But what you can do is like box the ears with your palm, so you're not punching with your knuckles and hurting your hand because you're hitting just the top of the hard part of the head. So I was like, box the ears. You started to box the ears.
Yeah, I heard everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I was super aware of everything. I heard you yelling, box the ears. I heard Justin telling me to throw up arm bars or triangles. I heard everything. I felt everything. I felt like I was in that moment 100%.
Okay, so now this really gets to the point that Geno rested his arms on your shoulders and chest, and you rotated an arm bar. And if you go scroll down the YouTube page, we're actually going to have an instructional video on the submission he did in the arm bar and how to do it, which is a pretty simple arm bar from guard. So nothing extremely special there, but you could check out, maybe learn some details about doing an arm bar, especially in the MMA format. But you rotated to the arm bar. Now, when you caught that arm bar, how did you feel like this is it? Like, was you for sure with it? Were you confident about that arm bar?
100%. I felt his gloves stuck behind my gloves. I felt it. I mean, I could feel it. It was in there. My legs were in good position. My hips were good. Everything felt right. His elbow was below my hips. Everything felt perfect. I felt strong. And I heard Justin yelling, pull. And so I just started cranking, and I felt his arm popping, and then I heard him yelling.
Right.
And that was definitely the moment.
that was definitely the moment, man, because when you caught him in an arm bar, at first I was like, is it good? Is it good? And then I think I started screaming, believe in it. And then I was like, he got it. Yeah. He got it. Yeah. And then when he fell over, and his face, I would never forget this face. There's certain things you don't forget. But the problem was that his face was facing me, as his arms was on the other side. So he was like this, right? And the ref, I believe, if I could put myself in the ref's shoes, the ref was looking at Geno's hands to see if he's going to tap.
Yeah, I think what was happening was he was going around to the front side to see if he could see the hands. He missed Geno's head on the opposite side, screaming.
Right.
Yeah.
So the ref totally was in the wrong position, but I could see it clear as day. Everybody that sat around me could see it clear as day, and Geno screamed, tap, tap, tap. Like I said in previous videos, that was the point that you was merciful and you let the arm go.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I was so aware that night. I heard everything. I heard him yell. I felt the arm. I was 100% ready to start celebrating my win.
Yeah, I put my stuff down and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I was thinking to myself, we just went, in my eyes, almost 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
And because you see the thing about us, man, we have Victory MMA in Colorado Springs. We just small little gym. We're not really that small. We actually got a good amount of numbers. But let's just say compared to some of the bigger gyms around the country, or even just in Denver, the Elevation Fight team and the Factory X teams, those guys are so huge because of a lot of the UFC guys that they have, and in a good culture. They got this great teams.
Yeah.
But when it comes to us, people look at us like we are not much.
Yeah.
You know, especially anytime Denver got this attitude that Colorado Springs is the second tier to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I get it. I mean, most of the money is coming out of Denver. They got more money. They got more things happening up there. I get it. But for us to go up there and beat these Denver teams, and to go damn near 4-0, bro, I was ready to I don't even drink, but I was like, I'm getting drunk. Man, you could pass this weed I smoke with you. I probably took a hit of crack. I don't know. I was on another level for that split second.
Yeah, for a split second. Me too.
Yeah, for that split second. And then what happened?
I get up to start celebrating, and Genos grabs my leg again.
Yeah.
And I'm confused. I yell. As soon as I let go, I yell, that's it. He tapped. And he grabs my leg, and the ref says he didn't hear it. Continue fighting.
Yeah. So, what do you think Geno was thinking at the moment?
I don't know. I don't know if his adrenaline was kicked in. He heard an instruction, so he followed. In the heat of the moment, these things are crazy. Anything can happen. So I don't want to, say he was planning on cheating, I think he got caught up in the moment. He didn't want to lose his pro debut. Mm-hmm. And it just one thing led to another. And unfortunately, it played out the way it did. But, man, I had, my adrenaline had dumped. I completely, my fight, I went from being in the fight 100% focused, knowing I won the fight, ready to celebrate, and then super confused as to what was going on.
Yeah.
So it was this real crazy up and down roller coaster. It only happened over a couple minutes, but it feels like
at that point it was a couple seconds, man. I'm gonna tell you what I assume Geno was thinking, right? I mean, I honestly feel like he wasn't thinking. Mm-hmm. I think he was just, like you said, caught up in the moment. And I won't say he went in to cheat. I don't think any fighter goes in and cheat. No. But I do think he felt at the moment no, this can't be over right now.
Yeah.
No, this can't be happening. Yeah. And he was not ready to accept the reality of that he got caught and he tapped out. Yeah. So and then if you have the referee behind you, you're just gonna freaking off.
Hell yeah.
Right. So yes, and for you went from I just won this fight that I freaking needed.
Yeah.
To oh my God, now
being back in a fight.
Yeah, and I don't even know what's going on right now. And even for me, I honestly didn't even see Geno catching that throw, because I was grabbing the cage, screaming. I'm looking at everybody, I'm checking to see if this is reality.
Yeah.
I'm losing sight of the fight. I'm no longer coaching. I'm screaming. I'm arguing at the ref. I'm totally checked out of what. I actually felt like what was happening between you and Geno, the fight continued, wasn't even a thing.
Yeah. Bro, honestly, me too, because I was looking at you.
Yeah.
And I thought you were about to rip that whole cage apart.
Bro, if that cage was not secured, that would have been funny. I'll let it crumble.
Then it would have really been over.
Yeah, I'm kicking the chairs.
Yeah. But it was crazy. It was such a wild scenario. I could hear everybody screaming. As soon as I hit the mat, I could hear people yelling. I looked at you, and actually in the video that I posted, you can slightly see you in the background.
Right, yeah.
In your mind, yeah. And the ref points at you and says something. But it moves on from there.
Yeah.
But, you never can expect the things that happen in this fight game. Mm-hmm. You can never predict what's going to happen, no matter if it goes smoothly or not. It's even if you know some things that are gonna happen. There's the unknown. That's always possible, right? And
yeah, I've never predicted a fight and had it happen the way that like my fights and had it have it happen the way that I predicted in my head. You know what I'm saying? It just never, right? And I got 30 fights and I've never seen it play out the way I initially envisioned it to play out. Especially something crazy like that.
That's nuts, bro, because like I've watched so many fights and I don't know if I've really ever seen another scenario quite like that one.
Right. Which we can get into how historical this fight was. So now, Geno kept going. He actually took you down. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all went around in a circle. He got your back. He choked you out. And then from there, he celebrated. Well, I don't think he celebrated.
No.
I think he got up, and I think it must have hit him like he don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, uh-oh."
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like I won the fight, but I didn't really.
Yeah.
And like, did people see it? Like I can imagine what he was thinking in his head.
Yeah.
And what got me was his corner came in to pick him up and celebrated.
Yeah.
Nah, man, bro, I get it. Like, as a corner, if you was to do that, I wouldn't call you out right then and there. I want to be, hey man, you tapped out. You my fighter. You tapped out. You should go over there and give the win to the other guy. I probably wouldn't do that either, right? Well, but I also wouldn't go in there and celebrate as if you really won that fight.
Another thing, I do think that they were on the other side, so they didn't hear.
They didn't see it
or see what we saw.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, and that's just how it played out. But it's tough, man. It was such a weird, controversial fight. It's like, how can anybody celebrate that outcome?
Right. And so now, obviously, I got into a little bit of a confrontation with the other the other coaches, mainly because of that celebration, and I was more like focusing on Geno because it was like, you cheated, you tapped, and obviously his coach is going to protect him, like, hey, don't step to my fighter. So the interesting thing about this, the backstory is that this team is a team that I trained with for a significant amount of years. Majority of the people that was in the corner outside of Randy, I've actually been a part of the team longer than they have been, and so I have a lot of respect for that team. And unfortunately, they had Coach Mark Montoya, this team, Factory X, was not there. He was on vacation, so he had his other assistant coaches coaching his fight. So it was really just a huge clusterfuck of high emotions over a highly controversial situation.
So, fights are already high emotion. You got your loved ones in the crowd, your teammates in the crowd, all the people that support you and push you, and they want you to win. They want you to do well. And then when something controversial happens, it can heighten that real quick.
It could go 0 to 60.
Real quick. We've seen it before.
Right. So people have to have have to be professionals. And I saw me get into that level, and always like me and Yusuf was almost like going at each other. To the point that you had to step in, which is really interesting. Because you know me, man. Like I
know, Coach, man. I know when you get in your mood, man. It's hard to bring you back.
So and then I had to think to myself a couple of things. One, this moment is not about me, right? And anything that I do at this point is not gonna help. And if I go out there and me and Yusuf get into a scramble, you know what I'm saying, it's just gonna cause more issues, more problems, get me suspended, get him suspended. Because I know Yusuf, he's not gonna back down either.
None of us need
it. And then our teams, his team wanna, fight our team wanna fight their team. It's a huge violence that we don't really need. So I have to sit back and be like, all right, cool.
That's one thing I didn't want. I know that like it was so crazy, but it wasn't important enough for anybody to get in trouble, anybody to like get hurt. I didn't want anything like that. So my main focus was like, calm this fire right now, and let's figure out what we can do from here on.
So luckily for us is the commissioner pulled us to the side and said he was going to review it and he was going to check it out.
I mean, as soon as I walked out of the cage, I was like coming down the stairs, and he pulled me aside and was like, hey, let's talk. And he told me we'd start the process, we'd get to it, and it was kind of interesting because like I didn't say anything. I hadn't really said much to anybody yet, and you know, that was the first interaction I'd really had with anybody. So it was interesting, but there was, I mean, part of the commission officials, they heard it, so it was like, how much needed to be said?
Yeah, because obviously I sat next to one of the timekeepers, the timekeeper, and one of the judges, and they saw it.
Yeah.
So they automatically went up to the commission and be like, no, he tapped.
Yeah.
He didn't physically tap, he verbally tapped.
Yeah.
And so the commissioner was instantly was going to investigate it.
Yeah.
Now, this is where, once again, it gets even crazier, right? Because you can add layers to this story.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, Sparta, they had like 3 cameras. And they do actually a really good job on getting good video.
Yeah.
But for some freaking reason, they did not catch Geno tapping. For some reason, all angles of all the video cameras they have, like if you watch the fight that they posted, you do not see Geno verbally tapping.
Yeah.
However, they social media guy,
Yeah.
they're like, you know, the plot twist. They social media guy happened to be sitting at the right place at the right time and recording, and caught it on his phone.
Crazy.
Now, guys, I want you to really think about this, because we would be having a whole different discussion if that guy did not press record.
Or if he sat 10 feet away.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. If he sat in a different location, the other side of the cage.
Yeah. It would have been.
We would literally have no argument.
No, I would be stuck.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna believe me, or even some of the people that saw it, like, is gonna believe. They needed something so hardcore.
Yeah. Even the video, there's still people doubting the video.
Right. Even I feel like this is like you know, I'm not trying to bring the controversy what's happening in the country, but like we see videos of police officers doing certain wrongs, and then people still question it.
Yeah.
Like no, I see it with my own eyes.
Same thing.
Right. So people saw the video, because we end up posting it after the ruling.
After the commission had their process.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that in a second. But even then, people was like, "Oh man, that video could be doctored up. It could have been somebody else screaming tap tap tap. It wasn't Geno." But like, that video didn't come from us.
No.
It came from Sparta's social media person,
Yeah.
and was sent directly, not through us, directly to the commission. The commission validated that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, after the commission said that they're going to investigate it, and I had to write a letter to start the investigation, because they can't open up an investigation, I have to do it.
Yeah.
So I wrote the letter. The commission contacted me, contacted Mark Montoya, the other coach, and let everybody know this is what's happening. Then the process starts.
Yep.
And the whole time, we did our video. I talked about it. You know, pictures came out, and everybody is like, it's picking sides.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, oh, Geno's a cheat, or other people saying Victor MMA, Dylan Gilbert, they just bitching and complaining. Yeah, you know, just accept your guy losing, you know. Let me ask you a question though. The one thing that sticks, and this is the controversial part. Even though that Geno tapped, and we all know he tapped, that's a fact, but the referee did not catch it. People would argue that if the referee don't catch it and he tell you to continue to keep fighting, then it never happened. You should keep fighting.
Yeah, I get that argument. I definitely get the argument. My whole thing is, we're fighting, but I'm not trying to ruin this kid's career. I'm trying to win, technically, and get out of there. That's my goal. And the fact that, like, maybe I should have been holding on until the ref got around to seeing or hearing or whatever. I mean, Geno's arm was already popping. I know it was hurt. You know, he's getting iced up at the end of the night. I know it was hurt. What? Why? Why should I break him? We're not savages.
Yeah.
You know, why should I break his arm and ruin his career instead of let go, call it a night, he moves on, we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I've literally beaten people, and they end up in the UFC before I did.
Yeah.
Like I lost like a good loss, you know, like I would say, a loss doesn't define you, but it could refine you, right? But if you get injured and you like, and that takes you at minimally out the game for a long period of time, then that could kind of stop your movement, your career.
Yeah, and that armbar was not going anywhere. The
Right.
only way he was getting out of that thing is if I let go, which I did.
Yeah.
And that thing was sunk in there.
Trust me, if Geno could have fought out of that and not have to scream tap, he would have.
Yeah, or fall over. Like falling over is not like an armbar defense.
You're right.
You know, that's done. That's match.
So I'm not gonna tell your purse because that's a personal business. But I will say this: these fights at this level, these guys are not getting paid a lot. Like they're actually getting paid pennies. But what they're doing is trying to build up the career to get to a level that they can actually make some real money. So this fight, both guys are getting paid pennies. So to take a huge injury like that for pennies makes no sense. So the argument of like, well, you should have just broke his arm, you shouldn't let go. That doesn't make sense for anybody that's on Geno behalf. Is his friend, his teammates, family, coach, whatever, to advise Dylan like you should just like not let it go and wait till the referee pull you off doesn't make sense. You are not putting your fighter first.
Yeah.
Because you gotta understand, an armbar is different than a choke. Choke, you go out, you wake up, okay. Even ground and pound, boom, 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 you may go out. I know concussion is the thing, but most people recover, right? But when the armbar is already popped.
Yeah.
So the only thing next is for it to break.
Right.
And once it's broken, and we don't know how it's going to heal.
Yeah, or how bad it was going to be broken. I mean,
and it's not just the elbow joint; it's all the tendons and the muscles that's attached to the tendons and ligaments.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you did was 100% the way to do it, because even the commission said to you.
Yeah.
Even after this, he said, "Hey, Dylan, next time you fight, I know this is pretty controversial, it's crazy, but I don't want you going in and trying to kill the next guy. Like if you catch someone, I don't want you holding it until the guy goes to the hospital."
Yeah.
Like he actually advised you that.
He asked me, to not try to prove a point from my next fight.
Right.
But you know, it's crazy. But you know, I do want to say, like, I still have respect for these teams, these guys. Anybody who's willing to step in that cage, you gotta have respect for. You know, I think, in hindsight, maybe my post wasn't the greatest, but you know, my emotions were high. I was fired up.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just tough. Like I sat in that feeling for 3 weeks, man. I was like unsure. I was, you know, there's a lot of weird feelings, emotions that I was going through.
Yeah, me and you had some really tough conversations. We were both emotional.
Yeah.
You know, because we knew how important this was, and it was a point in time we was afraid that maybe the commission would not turn it over.
Yeah.
We was afraid that the commission would be like, well, you know, you the ref didn't see it, so you know it's a loss.
It is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? So like for 3 weeks, and not only we was being berated from his team members that was supporting him, and people writing on social media, you know, F victory, F those B words and those P words, and you know, they ain't this, they ain't that, and we was like, yo, wait, hold on, man, what did we do wrong?
Yeah, what did we do wrong?
You know, like we fought, we tapped out, we was smart enough and respectful enough to release the submission when the guy taps, and now we the idiots, now we the punks and the B words and the P words, like where's this coming from?
Yeah.
And it was coming from legit fighters that maybe fighting in the UFC or have plans to go to the UFC. Like I could have said it was coming from like people that don't know anything about fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just fans,
just random fans that's talking smack, but it was actually coming from fighters. Like you gotta respect the dude tapped out, he gotta honor that.
Yeah.
Okay, so and even Geno himself went online and wrote some stuff that it was like, oh, fluke armbar. Bro, one thing I say, this one thing I love about submissions when it comes to MMA. If I close my eyes, if I just swing really hard, I could knock someone out. And some people could call that a lucky punch. And there's some argument for that. But there's no such thing as a lucky submission.
No.
There's no such thing. I'm just going to fall into this armbar and you're just going to luckily catch it and flukely, lock it up and execute it. No, those things take technicality. It takes an opportunity to learn how to set it up, how to lock it up, and how to finish it. And all those steps, my opponent is probably fighting me.
Yeah.
So for me to catch you in a submission, that is a definitive way of saying I am better than you in this game.
Yeah. And to say, like, to acknowledge that I caught a fluke armbar,
Yeah.
is to acknowledge that I caught an armbar.
Right. So right there, you're saying that I won the fight.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, but you know what? Like I said, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be disrespectful. I had my moment, and I'm gonna try to move on and learn from that.
Okay, speaking of my moving on, now the next step is like people are like, hey man, give him a rematch. Now I'm gonna tell you straight up, there's not a decision he had to make.
Mm-hmm.
It was a decision I made. I say no, because my thought process is like this. Outside of doing a rematch, outside of making money, like if the Sparta came to us and put some real money on the table that Dylan could really eat off of, then okay, then we could talk about doing a rematch. But if you're doing a rematch just to prove a point, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You already submitted Geno in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do at this point is give Geno an opportunity to get some get back.
Yeah.
How does that help us?
No, I think he's had plenty of second chances.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So fighting Geno again, it doesn't prove anything, because if we beat him again, we can be like, well, we already beat him the first time, so we beat him again. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
But if he beat us, he's gonna be like, yeah, I told you it was a fluke. Yeah, I told you. Like so, there's no real win. However, Sparta, if you're listening, if you can come to the table with some real cash, this could be a big money. What would freaking Conor McGregor say?
Red panty night.
Red panty night. Now that's a different story, because now you could actually make some decent money and help take care of your life.
Yeah.
But if we making the same amount of money, or at least close to it, and when you fighting a guy who's even more determined to fight us.
Yeah. And it's hard, bro, because it's like, if that situation happens, what makes you think I want to get back in the cage with that person?
Yeah, if one, he cheated, he lied about it,
Yeah.
and then he went online and talked crap about us. Why would we even want to give him an opportunity to fight you again?
Yeah.
I fully understand. That's why I said no. And plus, I don't like the energy around it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like the negativity and what's gonna come from there, and all the social media talk and my team versus. Listen, you gotta understand, guys. Factory X was my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me to be in conflict with Factory X, it's such a weird place to be.
Yeah.
Because since 2013, I've been from 2013 to 2017 for 4 years. I was riding and dying with Factory X, and even after I retired from fighting, Mark Montoya have called me up multiple times. Hey, I need you to come spar with one of my guys. He's fighting a southpaw, a shorter guy. You're perfect guy. I'm like, yo, Mark, don't even worry about it. I'm there. You don't even got to pay me, although some of the guys did pay me. But I never asked for money. If Factory X needed me, if Mark Montoya needed me, I'm driving. I drove an hour and a half to them. Mm-hmm. Not even like, well, you need some sparring, you can come down here. No, you need me, I go spar with Anthony Smith, Zach Cummings, Ian, Chris Camozzi. No problem, because those was my brothers. That team meant so much to me. Yeah. So have this conflict with them is like, it hurts me.
Yeah. And I don't want that for you as a former student fighter. For them, I don't want you to have that situation because of me, a new student, a student of yours.
Yeah.
I don't want that to cause friction. It's weird, but like I said, man, I still got respect for the team. I still got respect for the fighters, the coaches. I just, unfortunately things played out the way they did, but hopefully, like men, we can all move on.
And we're gonna continue to fight each other. I believe we have fought Factory X 6 times, even 5 or 6 times. We only lost once to him. Right, and I really, and what the funny thing about that is that, I'm not even gonna lie, I am teaching y'all a lot of stuff that Mark Montoya taught me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I put my twist to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I put my wrestling base to it. Mm-hmm. But like, all this information is just recycling.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I give respect to these guys, and we're gonna continue to fight y'all. And I'm hoping that we continue to beat y'all. I'm pretty sure they want to get back too. They want to continue to keep fighting us. But that's good, because I love that competitiveness.
Yeah, me too.
I have no problem with that. You know how many times I've sat, like I said, almost 5 or 6. I think we like 6-1, like 7 times. Correct me if I'm wrong on the numbers, but you know how many times I sat across Mark Montoya and we look at each other, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You about to get it off. We gonna see.
Yeah.
You know, and he when Geno beat Kobe, I was like, congratulations, coach.
Yeah.
You know, when Hector beat a couple of the guys and Jeremiah beat their guy with him, boom, boom, he came across the cage. He said, congratulations to us.
Yeah.
So it's always been respect, and now hopefully that will continue.
Yeah, that is what I want for the situation. You know, I don't think it's good. And at the end of the day, we're all Colorado MMA, so you know we gotta kind of stick together, and you know we gotta represent the state the right ways.
Word. All right, man. That was a lot. That's the full story for my side of it, and we're gonna continue to keep training, continue to build your career, because brother, like. You're a special person to me. I've had a few people like you, but you've been the most consistent, meaning that you started with me with nothing.
Yeah.
Like literally, like you told me, like obviously you back before this, you was doing skateboarding.
Yeah.
You never wrestled, never boxed, never did jujitsu. You literally walked through those doors with zero knowledge of the sport of MMA besides just being a fan.
Yeah. I was just a big fan, but yeah, I had literally no training, as green as it gets.
So to take you from a newbie to a amateur fighter to now a successful pro fighter, it's a huge honor for me, and I believe we got a lot more to accomplish.
Yeah, man, I know we got a lot left to do, and you know what they say is sharks are born swimming.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, guys. So that's another episode of Hardwork Bad Decisions, the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about it. I want to thank my man Dylan for wanting to do this post-fight interview. Thank you guys for watching it. You can leave your comments below. You know, like, share, comment. It's all good. You know, if you got something negative to say, whatever, man, we'll take it. I'm just gonna scroll past that. And if you come at me sideways in my DMs, I'm just gonna make fun of you. So, you know, if you like, hey man, let's fight, I'm like, okay, bro, I'm just gonna make fun of you and I'm gonna post you in my stories and man, let other people make fun of you. So let's not do that. Let's stay positive. Let's keep moving forward and keep rock and rolling. Thank our sponsors. And yeah, that's it, bro. We out.